I'm Danielle Latimer. I'm the current Ms. London Galaxy 1920, and this is my interview with the Pageant Project.
Good morning or good evening, wherever you're watching. I think the UK is like 11 p.m. It's 5 p.m. over there, and it's 7 a.m. in the morning here. I am here. Sorry for running late. Tech issues on my end, and then, of course, as we go live, Danielle drops her phone all over the place. But I am here with Danielle Latimer, who's Ms. London Galaxy 2019. Danielle, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
This is unexpected. So you are over there supporting the girls at Galaxy International. Is that correct?
I am. So I'm out here in Orlando, Florida, supporting all of the girls here. So it's exciting. It's good to see it with my own eyes.
But have you been to International Galaxy before, like supporting?
I haven't. No, this is my first time at an international Galaxy pageant.
And how has it gone? How have you felt? What have been your impressions?
Yeah, it's just the kind of, from what I've experienced in the UK, it still has that kind of family vibe here. We had Miss Belleza Latina. I think I said that right. Last night, which was so much fun.
Just go back for a sec. I cannot for the life of me figure out how to pronounce that. There's a syllable in it that I haven't got. How do you say it?
I'm going to murder this now. Belleza Latina. See?
But I swear when Maria says it, there's another, it's like Lasatina or something. Anyway, so you saw that last night. It was good fun. Continue.
Yes. It was fabulous. The girls were amazing. It was nice to have some Latin kind of fierceness. They've got those sultry looks down.
They are. It's in their blood. I mean, it's kind of unfair.
Yeah. We need some of that.
Okay, guys, if you have questions for Danielle, make sure to put them in the comments below and I'll pass them on. Danielle, I'll get you to do the easy question of give us an idea to your background with pageantry, which I believe is extensive. And just whilst you tell that long story, I'm just going to turn around and lower the blinds because I can see the sun behind is absolutely blinding everyone. So if you just give everyone an idea as to how you got started in pageantry and your experience, and I'll do the things over here.
Of course. So pageantry, my first exposure to pageantry was when I was a child. I used to watch Miss World and Miss Universe and just was always in awe. These women were like superwomen. And I just never thought that I could ever do anything like that. But I was always in awe of them. I think it was when I was at university. I used to go on the Miss England website and, I was just too shy to enter or just thought I was never good enough or it wasn't what they were looking for. I ended up entering an online photo heat because I was too scared to get on stage. And it was like Miss Student. But it turned out to be a complete rip-off. They took all of our money. It was text votes. I probably spent about £50 on text votes, my family. And that was my first not so great experience of pageant. And I thought, right, no, I've got to do this right. And so I was out at university. I can't believe I'm telling you this story. But I was out at university and someone handed me a leaflet and said, you should enter Miss Bedfordshire. And I went home that night in probably the early hours of the morning. I sent an email saying, I've seen Miss Congeniality. I want world peace. No.
Really?
And then, I actually did. And I was kind of being sarcastic a little bit to see how they'd react. And they sent me an email back saying, we like your enthusiasm. Why don't you come down for an interview? And at this point, I wasn't really taking it too seriously. Like, I was kind of a bit like, I'm not what they want, And I actually met two girls there that kind of changed my mind. One girl had autism, and I was talking to her mum for a little while. I don't know if you know, but my sister's got Down syndrome. So for me, connecting with a mother of a child that's got disability, and she explained to me that how much she got out of it, and it boosted her confidence, and she's got so many friends, and she's raised thousands for charity. Wow. I was like, wow, this is actually, I've been taking the mickey out of this, and really it's actually really an awesome thing.
Yeah.
So that kind of changed my mind in an instant. There was another girl that I met, and she'd done it, I think she'd competed in Miss Bedfordshire, I think around about 4 times.
Okay.
And her like dedication doing to competing, and she was always Miss Charity every single year. She'd always have a different fundraiser, and I was just like, you know what, these girls are awesome, and this is something that I want to be a part of. So from then on, I competed in Miss England for several years, and then competed in Miss Universe GB a couple of times, which, I love Miss Universe GB. I'm a big fan of Paula Barnes-Donato. She's fabulous, the director of Miss Universe GB. Competed in Earth, competed in Miss Globe, and Miss Grand International as well, and now Galaxy. So yeah, quite extensive.
Are there any systems you haven't competed in? Because because I'm doing my research on you / stalking, and I saw a post before you went to Portugal Galaxy, and they were announcing you as a judge, I think, and they listed all the systems that you've been a part of. So I saw that part.
Yes.
I can't really think of. I
think the only international and supranational are probably the only 2 like big ones that I haven't done.
All right, so I guess the question has to be, and I'll go over to the guys. If you got any questions, I can see you watching. Pop them in the comments below. But I can see before I go to the viewer questions, why did you circle around to Galaxy? Because obviously you've been doing this for a while. You've gone through a few systems, so the question has to be, why Galaxy? Why
Galaxy? My best friend, she entered Galaxy, and I came to support her and watch her, and I kind of like grew a little love for it, and it was pageant world. It was the ultimate pageant world, and I just kind of fell in love with it. And so from what year was it? I think 3 years now. No, 5 years. Nadine has competed 3 years, so it means I've definitely been 3 years. She took a year out, and I went to that year as well, the year that she wasn't competing. So I think it's 5 years I've been watching Galaxy, and I think on the 4th year I was just like, right, it's time to do it. I want to do it.
I mean, if you're sitting in the audience, you might as well get your heel. Well, you probably dress for it anyway. Just get up on the stage.
Yeah, I always had such a great time. Holly, the director, she creates such an amazing atmosphere there. It is a big family, and I just decided that I wanted to be a part of that family.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Okay, so I'm going to go over to the viewer questions. That's why I'm looking over here. Sherry Harvey has asked, how's the Galaxy prep going? What are you doing as part of your prep?
Hi, Sherry. Galaxy prep is just kind of, not necessarily getting in shape yet, because I'm out in America. I just knew that I was going to like stuff my face. But I think it's more kind of mental prep. Watching the girls being here, getting the appearances in, learning more about who I am through the Galaxy system as well. I really want to work on my interviews, so I'm trying to work on that. Kind of everything in here is kind of what I'm working on currently. Everything else can wait.
Yeah.
And it's not really that important in the Galaxy either, being in shape and stuff.
Lauren Texan has asked, what are you most looking forward to in competing this year?
Everything. Getting to know the girls. I just love being on stage. I've always been a little bit of my nickname at school was Show Off, so I'd always be like, want to be front of the stage, and I would always sing even though I couldn't sing, and I'd always want to be a lead role. I don't know, I've always been that kind of extroverted person, so I can't wait to get on that stage, especially for fashion wear. I'd never competed in a fashion wear round before until Galaxy, and for me that was something that I absolutely love. I love to design dresses, and I design my fashion wear, so I'm really excited to get up on stage and strut my stuff in my fashion wear again. Can
you give us some hints as to what the fashion wear looks like? Because I'm imagining this is a closely guarded secret.
It's all up here. It's all up here. I keep giving everyone my ideas.
Well,
I have an amazing idea.
Okay.
And I just go, this would look amazing on you. And then I'm like, oh, what am I going to do?
Okay. All right. So I know that you can dance. I know that you've done a lot of, give us a bit of your background. So as I said, I was doing my research, so I know dancing is a huge thing. And I also know that you went back, you guys call it the GCSEs. I think we call it the HSC over here. So
oh my goodness, you certainly dug, didn't you?
Oh, and I do have a few things to pick with you as well. But give us a bit of background as to who you are off the stage.
Yes, so I went to university and I studied dance and professional practice. I was a cheerleader. I also played dodgeball. I was probably the most American British person you could meet.
Hang on, so were you growing up in America? Because I didn't even know the UK had cheerleaders. The UK has cheerleaders?
We had cheerleaders. We sure do.
I've learned something today. Okay.
Yeah, we had cheerleaders at uni level. That's where I got into it.
And dodgeball? As a
dodgeball
proper sport?
Yeah.
What's dodgeball as a...
Proper dodgeball.
What's dodgeball?
You just got to hit someone with a ball. And they're out.
I didn't know this was a proper sport. I played it in school, but
It's a sport. It's a sport. Okay. Yeah, I was I was almost asked to join the England team at one point, so...
Okay, so obviously you're capable of throwing a ball at other people. That's good to know.
Yeah.
So you
talent round. There's a talent round in there, I'm telling you, Adrian.
Well, you're going to need some poor schmo up on stage to throw a ball at. I don't volunteer for that. So you were at university, you were doing cheerleading, you were doing, I was going to say dance ball, dodgeball.
I decided that I didn't want to dance anymore, but I loved doing it. And whenever there was a talent round in pageants, I got to, choreograph a piece. And yeah, so I don't really dance so much anymore. But it kind of went another way. I started working as a brand ambassador for many different brands. I set up my own company for a little bit. I worked in recruitment. I worked as a fashion stylist for a little while. Then I started working for law firms. This is like a long CV, but now I'm currently working for Equinox, which is an amazing health club.
What do you do at Equinox? Because when I was in New York, I heard about Equinox, and it was an amazing brand. So what are you doing for Equinox?
Yes. So we've got 3 clubs opening up in London. So I'm going to be working on the Bishopsgate opening. That opens up mid-December.
Right.
And so it's just kind of getting everyone signed up, anyone that's interested in membership. So I'm a membership advisor there.
Right.
So if you're interested in a bougie gym, let me know.
I just remember walking outside Equinox, and I didn't know exactly what it was, but it just looked so classy. The brand, the text, it was just... I wanted to go in, but I wasn't living in New York. I was just there passing through.
Yeah. I always say we're like the Rolls-Royce of health clubs.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of Rolls-Royce, so I'd say more like the Ferrari or something. But yeah, no, I get I get what you mean. Gianima has asked, what is your favorite thing about Galaxy, and how excited are you for next year?
Oh, I think that's Janima.
Janima,
what's my favorite thing about Galaxy was that.
What's your favorite thing about just Galaxy, and how excited are you?
She wants me to say that. She's prompted me to say that.
I'm sure.
My best thing about my Galaxy journey is definitely sharing it with my sisters, and that would be Nadina, who's my bestie. We've competed in pageants since time began, and meeting Janima, who answered this question. She is like my little sis. I love her.
Well, she definitely has prompted you, because Janima wrote under that, "How much do you love me?" So I guess you have to answer that publicly.
This much.
So really a question. And then Janima has asked also, is watching internationals making you excited for Galaxy UK next year? I mean, It
is. It really is, because seeing that stage and seeing the girls on there, I actually got a little bit emotional yesterday. I was just thinking, like, I can't believe I'm actually here, and I have a chance at being able to do that next year. So it's definitely put a little bit more fire in my belly for UK, and kind of equipped me with some more knowledge ready for the UK. I'm just so excited.
Let me circle back. So I mentioned the GCSE thing. So you went back to take retake the GCSEs so that you could become a vet. Did I read that correctly?
Yes. It's always been my ambition to become a veterinarian. So I went back and took my GCSEs. So yes, I sat in a hall with 15-year-olds, me being twice their age, and sat my GCSEs. And you know what, Adrian? They are hard. They are so hard. And I thought I knew. I thought, oh, this is going to be easy. I don't even need to study. I got in there, my maths exam. No, it was really hard. And I do feel like there's a lot of pressure on young people today to, know it all.
Yeah.
And it does affect your career in the long run. So anyone that's watching this, that's studying for their GCSEs, or they've probably just got their results, or, going into doing their GCSEs next year, knuckle down, because you don't want to do it when you're 30. You really don't want to do it when you're 30. So yeah, I'm hoping to go to vet school I want to say in about 5 years' time. Right. I'm kind of spreading it out at the moment. So yeah, I don't care if I'm like 80 when I'm qualified as a vet. I will qualify as a vet one day, and I will be Dr. Latimer one day.
What were you like as a 15-year-old?
I was dedicated to my sport. I played a lot of sports. Every single night I would be playing a different sport. So I was the only girl on the basketball team. I used to do trampolining. I used to swim. Anything to get me out of doing homework, basically. Which is why I had to retake my GCSEs, kids, to do your homework.
Would the 15-year-old you have ever thought that you would end up here?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I mean, I think there was a little bit inside me I had hoped that I would be able to do something like this. But then I think when you're that young, especially growing up in East London where I grew up, your self-worth isn't always at its highest.
Right.
Because I always say I kind of grew up in the ghetto.
I didn't know London had a ghetto.
It's a bit rough,
right,
from where I'm from, but I definitely wouldn't think that I would be here now, sat in a gown, some huge earrings on, and with a full face of makeup on. Like back then, all I was worried about was, sinking hoops, and that's about it really. Sinking hoops.
Yeah, no, I like the style on that. Actually, you can tell that you know how to play basketball, because people who don't know, it's something like the overhead chuck or something like this. So yeah, okay.
It's all in the wrist.
Yep. I'm going to go back to the questions. Georgia Holmes has asked, what has been your favorite appearance so far?
Oh, probably be. Other than being here, I would say having the honour of judging Galaxy Portugal, definitely. It was amazing to see the Galaxy system in another country. Jenny, who gave me the opportunity to judge that, was a complete and utter honour. I think I was the only one on the panel that still had their purple sash. I'm not technically a queen. So it was a huge honour for me to be there, and I'm so grateful for that.
Oh, queen on the inside, queen on the outside. How did the Portugal thing come about?
I was going to go anyway. I was going to go watch and support. People that know me know that I love to travel. So any excuse to combine my two loves of travel and pageantry, I'm going to be there. So I was going anyway, and then Jen just dropped me a message and saying, hey, I know that you're coming. Would you like to judge? So, and of course I accepted.
How was the judging experience? I've been on a judging panel before. How was your experience?
Well, there was quite a lot of us, and it was a very diverse panel. Half of us were, pageant girls. The other half weren't. So there was an ex-footballer, right. There was a stylist on there, a fashion writer. There was an influencer. There was a real diverse mix of different people there. So you just don't know how judging's going to go, really. Okay. So, but it's really exciting. It was a fabulous event. If anyone can make it out to Portugal to watch Portugal Galaxy next year, definitely do it, because it is an amazing show. Because not only the girls are fabulous, but there's also they have acts on. We had contemporary dance acts, and they had singers, and it was a big production. Yeah,
it did look super posh. When is Galaxy UK happening? That's next year, right?
Yes. It's in March.
In March.
So I have the the privilege of competing on Friday the 13th. So
Okay. Oh, I hope 13 is your lucky number.
I hope so too.
You also mentioned that you love traveling, so I'm going to put you on the spot and say, just name all the countries you've been to.
Oh gosh. America. I went to Thailand, Myanmar, I've been to China, I've been to Singapore, I've traveled all around Europe, so Italy, France, Spain, Portugal, Germany, Switzerland, Poland,
Jesus.
Hungary, Czech Republic, did I say that? Netherlands. Where else have I been?
That's a lot already.
Yeah. Turkey, Cyprus. I haven't done a lot of Africa. I want to do Africa and South America. Oh, Mexico, Canada. I think that's about it.
Are you spending any time after the pageant in America, or are you heading straight back to the UK?
Unfortunately not. Some of the guys here are going to go to New York. Super jealous of that. But I have to head back to work.
Yeah. I mean, eventually you do have to work. I don't think you can just travel.
Yeah.
Unless you can find somewhere
No,
getting
I
paid
wish
to
I
travel.
could.
I mean, I'm sure you can do that.
I need to somehow become a travel blogger.
Yeah. Your little sis has said, I love you, and Kelly Welton has said, we love you, Danny. Guys, if you have any questions for Danny,
Love you, Kaylee.
I'm butchering all these names. In between the Welsh names and the Latino names, I can't pronounce anything. If you have any questions for Danielle, make sure you put them in the comments before I move to the final 10 questions, because she actually has the finals night coming up, and she told me she's not quite ready. Although, if you looked at her, you probably can't tell. But what time is the big event starting? It's happening in just over an hour. Is that correct?
Yeah, 7:00 here.
What are you most looking forward to tonight?
Well, because I was at prelims last night, so I got to see all the rounds. I'm just wondering if there's going to be any gown changes, maybe. I don't know if they do that here yet, but we'll see. I know in Miss Universe they tend to do that quite a bit. I'm looking forward to the opening number.
Yes. Yeah.
The opening number is, we've seen the dresses already, and they're going to sparkle on stage. Looking forward to the girls strutting their stuff in that opening number.
Okay. Sounds good.
And of course, crowning.
Of course, yeah.
We all know who the winners are.
Yeah, it's a different thing over there. We don't have that in Australia. In Australia, we have the judging and the crowning on the same night. So I only just recently found out what prelims actually was. So that was something that we don't...
Oh, really?
Yeah, we don't have that over here in Australia. But I love the fact that there's basically a night where the girls can just perform. They don't have to worry about judging. I actually think that's a really good idea.
Preliminaries is all the... Yes, on the final night, yes.
Yep.
I do feel like on the final night, I feel like top fives, it's nice to, get some judges' scores. Instead of judges sitting there for show, I do feel like they should be making some scores.
Okay. Danielle, before we go to the final 10 questions, in terms of following your journey on social, underneath your video, I've got at Ms. London Galaxy, and I've tagged you in the Facebook comments above. Are those the two best platforms to catch you on?
I believe so, yes.
Okay, perfect. All right, well, let's go through to the final 10 questions. This can be preparation for your onstage Q&A.
Yes.
All right, here we go. Good luck. Question 1, what is your favourite word?
Fabulous.
Why doesn't that surprise me at all? Even the pronunciation and the way you tilt your head when you say it, it's a whole thing. Question 2, what is your least favourite word?
No.
Also doesn't surprise me. Question 3. In life, what gets you excited? What turns you on?
Oh, this shouldn't be a quick fire because there's so many things. Just nice people and integrity.
It doesn't have to be rapid fire. You can take it slowly if you want. You just you can take as long as you want to think. You're not.
I'll just sit here and ponder.
You're not going to get done. Well, you can bring, if something crosses your mind, you can bring it up later. You're not getting judged on this. Question 4: what turns you off?
Ignorance.
define ignorance.
Ooh. Someone not willing to see something from another side.
Yeah. Okay. So close-mindedness?
Yes.
Okay. Question 5. What sound or noise do you love?
Probably my sister singing when she's humming along, and yeah. She doesn't know the words, but it's cute.
You mentioned that you're not that great a singer. Do you want to give us a demonstration?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
I
think they've got the Fugees playing on the back here.
And that's an old song.
Love a bit of Lauryn Hill. Although I don't think this is the Lauryn Hill version.
Oh. I've never managed to get anyone to demonstrate their singing skills on an interview yet. I've got to keep working on that. Question 6. What sound or noise do you hate?
Nails on a chalkboard.
Okay.
Oh, no.
Question 7. If you could have any one superpower, what would you pick and why?
The ability to teleport, of course,
Oh.
so I wouldn't have to spend so much money on flight tickets.
Yeah, okay, that makes perfect sense. Question 8. If you could try, this will be tricky for you because you've done so many jobs, but if you could try any one occupation other than your own, what would you most like to attempt?
Probably a doctor. Not like obviously the vet, but actually helping people.
So you're okay with blood and needles, unlike Emma?
I'm not too bad. I think I'm better with animal blood than human blood.
Okay.
That's so sick.
I don't want to know
But yeah,
how you know that, but okay.
I'm not good with my own blood, but other people I think I can handle.
Okay, all right. Question 9. What job or occupation other than your own would you definitely not like to attempt?
Probably the people that take the emergency calls, like the 999 helpline. The things they must hear must be harrowing.
Yeah, I'll bet.
So I'd rather not do that.
Okay. Final question. If heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
It's time to party.
I get the feeling that's how you live your life, so I don't think you need to wait for heaven to party.
No, yes. Everything should be celebrated, definitely. Every day should be a party.
Guys, if you have any final questions, put them in below. Danielle, just for yourself, is there anyone that you want to give a shout out to or thank you for supporting you along your pageantry journey over the years?
Oh gosh, there'd be way too many people to call out. Just everyone that's tuned in, sent their questions. My best friend Nadina, who's been my absolute rock. Janima, my little sis. Everyone that's like ever supported me along the way. They know who they are, and I love you all so much.
Okay. Megan Goldberger has said, "Hi, my wife," and she's
Wifey!
also asked, "What are you most excited about?" Just in general, she hasn't put in anything. Just what are you most excited about?
In life. Yeah. I mean, I'm excited about everything in life. I get excited when I see donuts. There's French toast this morning. I was like, oh my goodness, proper American French toast.
Pageant Prep 101, French toast and donuts.
Yeah.
How Georgia Holmes has said, like me, I competed at internationals with my best friend. How excited would you be potentially sharing the international stage with your bestie, Nadina?
Oh, the thought of that makes me cry, honestly. Last year, competing with my best friend, it was just incredible. Like, there's no words to describe it. And when we were standing on that stage, like, I was just so proud of her, and I know she was so proud of me. And every time I think about the possibility of us having crowns together, I well up, because I know how hard she's worked, and to be able to hold her hand and do that alongside of my best friend would just be overwhelming.
But overwhelming in a good way.
In a really good way, yeah. That was the one thing with competing together. I was kind of like, how do we deal with the situation if one of us got a crown and the other one didn't? You know, obviously we'd support one another, but it would be an absolute dream if we was to win crowns together.
Janima has asked, what do you think the best thing about being a pageant girl is?
The girls, the community, my family, definitely. That is the best thing about pageantry. I mean, I've been in the game now for 10 years, and there's not many friends that I have outside of pageantry now. So you girls are my life. I'm getting deep on you now, guys.
Saving the hard-hitting questions to the end. Final question. Megan has asked, have you planned your outfits, wifey?
I haven't, no. This is very unlike me. I think I'm here to get some inspiration. I have ideas all the time, and they're changing constantly. I don't know if I'm going to get stuff made this year or whether I'm just going to rewear stuff. In an ideal world, I'd have everything new made up, but let's see how the finances go. And there's dresses that deserve another time on stage as well. They deserve their airtime, so I might have to crack out an old one.
Do you have a really massive cupboard?
We converted the loft.
So you don't have a cupboard, you have a room.
We have a room for my gowns, yes.
Wow. Okay.
I have a sick problem with buying gowns, and I have a worse problem with not being able to move them on and sell them on.
I was going to say, if you need money to fund your traveling addiction, you could just probably sell a few of those gowns.
I know. I probably could have got my foot on the property ladder by now if I hadn't got involved in pageantry.
Yeah, you're not a property investor, you're a gown investor.
I like to see my money in my closet. I think that's a quote taken from Sex and the City, I believe.
Sounds about right. I mean, you saw Maria's closet. Mm-hmm. I mean, she's got 2 rooms in her closet.
I know.
And the whole thing is decked out in gold and sparkles, and it's just like, oh my God. So.
And you asked me why I want to get involved in Galaxy.
So you can have a cupboard like Maria's.
Because that's just pure gold.
Yeah, no, that was amazing. All right. Megan Goldberg has just said, OMG, I'm shocked. Oh, I guess that you haven't planned out your outfits yet.
I know, yeah, it's really not like me, but there'll be something. Yeah. I think on the flight home, I might start sketching up.
Okay. Well, you can't rush inspiration. Okay. Well, Danielle, I'm going to keep you on the line for just a second longer whilst I hang up with the audience. But I'm going to thank everyone for watching, no matter where you were watching from. And we will speak to you again very soon. Hey, it's Adrian. Thanks so much for listening to our podcast. Make sure to subscribe to get details of our new episodes as they drop, and connect with us on social at The Pageant Project. Speak to you next.